Okay, so now I'll be showing you how to properly set up R, and also the folder structure you should have that will help you avoid a lot of debugging, wasting time, headaches in the future. So whenever you start something in R, right, the first thing, you have an assignment, you have a course, you have a project, the first thing you should do is go and create a new folder. So we will create this folder and just call it uh, uh, R setup project. So that's the first thing you should do. Always create a folder. Now you should always work within this folder. So if you have documents, you should always put it in this folder. Anything Word documents related to your project, to your assignments, everything, just put them here. If you need more, just make more of. If you need to organize, make more folders here. Um, so for instance, if this was a course, then you would say basically lectures, then you would do, oops, shortcut for creating new. Yes, so to create a new folder, the shortcut is Control Shift N. Lectures, assignments, and then maybe you have books, books, right? Uh, so this would be your structure, and then in here you would just go and say assignment 1, right? And then you would go in assignment 1, then you can have assignment 2, assignment 3, etc. So once you basically have your folder structure, so any project you start, anything new you start, it's a lecture, it's a course, it's a passion project, uh, always create a folder, our setup project, and then within that you can just create subfolders where you will be working. So every basically new project you do, as long as you have a new data set, that should be its own folder. Or if there's an assignment, then all the assignments should be in one. Everything should be within that assignment folder. So let's say now you've created your folders. So creating folders is very important, and in this proper structure, because you need to modulize your code. If you don't modulize your code, uh, you will fall into a lot of headaches down the line, and almost immediately as well, because one thing this helps you is how to read, how to store your data in the right place. When you download, typically you'll have an Excel file, a CSV file. So where to download them correctly. So if you have a CSV files for assignment 1, you have data, you would always download your data in that folder. Um so everything related to assignment 1 should be in that folder. Uh, so hope that makes sense. Um and I've emphasized that quite a bit. So now let's say how we already, you've installed R Studio, and now you open R Studio, and this is kind of take some time, and this is kind of what you see. Now in here, you see this is white, right? That's the first thing you notice. First thing, it's white. Now this is actually becomes very hard to code, um, but looking at a screen for like even half an hour, so much bright light being reflected on your eyes. It's too much for the eyes. It's actually gets very straining and difficult to work. So the first thing, I would say, even if you work half an hour, working in a dark theme helps reduce the stress and tension you feel in the eyes. And especially if you do it for long hours, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, then it really helps having a black background, and it's less stressful on your eyes, and it's easier to work. So the first thing I would say is I'll show you how to change that. The other thing is, you can see here, these are like your, we call it the console is here, the files are here, the environment is here, and the where you write your script is here. So this is where you would write script, this is where you would write, would be the console. So we need to set this up. So I would recommend having this setup. So to change these, so you can change these console environment, you just go here and say pane layout. And pane layout, then you can change what should appear where. So I would this is my setting. So I would put here the environment. Under the environment, I would have files. So that's already good. And the console, I would actually put down underneath, and then the source, basically where we type our script, would be on the top left corner. But now you can adjust it to however you like, um, and you see that now it is as desired. And of course you can change this, so I keep it kind of like that. So the environment, so environment is basically all the variables that you run will be stored in the environment, will be shown here. So everything that you run and is in memory of your R is actually shown here, and that is actually very helpful. So okay, um, did I upload a data set and called it college, then you'll see it over here. Or you said a data set called data one, and then it will all appear here. So this is um, the source. So for instance, I'll just show you one example. A equals to 1, and if I so you can run this, you press control enter, and it runs. So you see everything that executes in R, it shows up in the console as well. And then from here you can see it is shown in the environment. So there's the variable, and then the name, what's the variable, it's A, and then what's stored in the variable, the value of the variable. So this is basically a basic setup. You could have also run this over here directly, b equals to 1, and then you run, and then you see it there. This is another good feature in R. So if you have a plus b, that um, it will not be it will be black, meaning it has not been executed, and blue means it has been executed. So if you run here, so now you see it turned blue. So you can write commands there, or you could write commands here as well, and you can just say plus a b a, and then b, and then again run that line, control enter. Now to run the whole now to run the whole everything on the page, The shortcut is Control Shift Enter. You see several things executed. So I'll demonstrate this again. Before I uh, c equals to 3, d equals to uh, d equals to 8. So if you do Control Shift Enter, it executes everything. If you do Control, if you're at a particular line, you do Control Enter, it only executes that particular line. So that's these are very important shortcuts. They will save a lot of time, and I would recommend you use them. Um, the other thing is now these basic stuff, right? So is now how to change this to, oh yeah, the other thing is whenever you start R, it tells you which version of R you're using. This is actually very helpful. Down the line, you'll see R is a software built by people, and they're always coming up with better ways on how to improve it. For example, this feature that it turns from black to blue, that this was not present before. So they're always continuously improving R, and that's why the versions keep changing, and it's also very good to keep them updated. So downloading the new version of R gives you a lot of good capabilities. So knowing which version of R you are using and kind of keep having it an idea will be very helpful. So now after this, we now have to do a very important thing: change the color, change the background. So we go here again, we go to pane layout. Now instead of, so we go to pane layout, but now instead of pane layout, you can change a lot of things here. And we're going to go straight to the general first. So this gives you uh, a lot of important things, and I have actually customized this for myself. You can also change the code, and all these settings that you see are customized by me for what I prefer. For editing, for display, these are the things I prefer. You can go ahead and change your own settings to this if you like to have this. I would recommend. um, then saving settings again, that would help. Completion, go ahead and you can choose these settings. This again helps. And diagnostics, so this is actually important. I would also recommend you guys to choose these, uncheck and check according to these. And then in the console, you can also um, change the console settings. I would recommend you for now do this, and if you prefer something else, go ahead and change that later. Now coming to the main point, the appearance. So we have to change this um, to dark theme. So that this will actually not do it. You would think this would do it. So the modern is just the general theme of RStudio. So I'll just show you how that looks. uh so yeah, it doesn't change much. Okay. uh so appearance, and I just keep sky. That's the default. Don't seem to have much difference by that. So again, appearance. So editor font, uh, I choose Lucid Console. I prefer that. Now text rendering is default is fine for me. Font size 12 is good. And now this is editor theme. So you see the default is TextMate. What I use, and you can choose a lot of themes from here. So you can see, then you can say apply, then it shows you how it looks. You go to chaos, and then you can apply it, and then it shows you how it looks, right? You see nice coloration, really helpful, really helps a lot. Um, Versus if you were in text, it's even, you can see it's things become much easier. So if you are missing a plus sign, it's so much easier to catch these errors if you have a good theme. Vibrant is actually quite popular. That was my go-to before. And you see this kind of um, less colorful, but compared to chaos. So you can choose all these different um, settings. Gob, yes, it's an interesting one. So yeah, you can SQL Server, yes, yes, yes. We like SQL very much. Big fan of SQL. Okay, so for this I will choose chaos, and I will apply chaos, and that's it. So that's how you would configure your setting, your RStudio. Now it's not complete. Now let's say you have your assignment one, right? This is the assignment, and we have assignments, project. So assignments, you into assignments, you have assignments, and so let's say you have to download. So you have to do some R work in assignment one. What you do is you go here first, and of course, so we can just uh, go ahead, and first thing you should always do once you is obviously create a folder. Once you've created the folder structure, open R, and this is for any project. Click any new project and click on new project. So let's say don't save. So if there's any work, and then go to existing directory, and then go to browse. So why are we doing existing directory? Because we want to choose the folders we have already created. Yes, StarCraft. Yeah, I deleted that. Uh, uh, okay. Work, Q Statistica. You can just uh, find your folder where you need to be, and just select the folder. Folder is selected, and just press open. And it's here. The path is here. Just then create project. And you see the first thing that happened is now you'll see this file here. So this is what you should see. That means you've successfully created your project in R. So creating projects is the way to go. And you will see before it said none, right? And here it now says assignment one. So now basically you are set up, and you can just start the new file. You can just do R script, and then you can just do a plus. Sorry, you have to define a1. So to run all of this, you press Control Shift Enter. It does everything. And to just run this you the just to run the line which you are at on, Control Enter, and you see it's been executed. Now let's say you did some work over here, then you need to save this, right? So you can just, I would say, just go with shortcuts, Control S, and you see what did it do? It didn't open any random folder. It opened the folder which is the project name, which is this one. So you see, this is what a project does. Everything now automatically does what you expect it to do. You expect it to save, if you are working in a project, to save this in this folder over here. That's what this does. So creating projects is the is makes our work how you would naturally expect it to work intuitively. You would save something without If you don't specify a different folder, you expect it to save it in the current folder where you are working, right? So to make it work intuitively, you just have to set a project, and then R takes care of, and then everything works as you would expect it to. And then you can say this is um, um lesson on addiction uh, in R. Okay, and then you save, and voila, you can see it opens, it saves here. So now if you were to read data, so how you would read data is you would obviously first say data raw, right? You want to save it under something, and then you would do read, let's say it's a CSV, and then you would have the name. Let's say you call it data.csv. So data.csv, you would save it in here, the CSV file, or if it's an Excel file, just save it here. And if you run, it will automatically run. You don't have to worry about uh, the complications of where did you save the data, where is the data, where is the data located, um, what is the working directory, what's working directory is where it's basically the project. So I don't want to, this is a pretty common thing called current working directory. But yeah, so you don't have to worry about these slightly more advanced things. But yeah, just create a project, just create a good folder structure, go in there, create a project in R, and then everything will open a project, and then everything should work as expected. And if there was a CSV file here, you run it, it works. Okay. I hope you watch this at double speed, because or else it would have been too long. Okay. Thanks for watching, I guess. And hope this was helpful. Well, I do hope you use this, and then it will be helpful. Okay, bye.